जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज Govardhan ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, verses 30 to 34. 30 to 34. Tadastu me nath sabhuri bhago bhavetriyavanyatra tu vatirashcham yenaham ekopi bhavad Jananam Bhutva Niseve Tava Pada Pallavam. Translation. My dear Lord, I therefore pray to be so fortunate that in this life, as Lord Brahma or in another life, wherever I take my birth, I may be counted as one of your devotees. I pray that wherever I may be, even among the animal species, I can engage in devotional service to your lotus feet. Ahoti dhanya vrajago ramanya stanyam ritam pitam ativa te muda yasham vibho vatsataratmajatmana yatriptaye dhyapi na chalam advara. O Almighty Lord, how greatly fortunate are the cows and the ladies of Vrindavan, the nectar of whose breast milk you have happily drunk in your full satisfaction, taking the form of their calves and children. All the Vedic sacrifices performed from time immemorial up to the present day have not given you as much satisfaction. Aho bhagyam nanda gopa vrajokasham yan mitram paramanandam Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. How greatly fortunate Ananda Maharaj, the cowherd men and all the other inhabitants of Brajabhumi. There is no limit to their good fortune, because the absolute truth, the source of transcendental bliss, the eternal supreme Brahman, has become their friend. Purport. This translation is quoted from Srila Prabhupada Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 6, text 149. Esham tu bhagya mahima chutatavad astam ekadashaiva hi vayam bata bhuri bhaga etadrishika chashakair asakrit pibama sarvadayongri udaja madhavam ritasavamte. Yet even though the extent of the good fortune of these residents of Vrindavan is inconceivable, we 11 presiding deities of the various senses headed by Lord Shiva are also most fortunate, because the senses of these devotees of Vrindavan are the cups through which we repeatedly drink the nectarian intoxicating beverage of the honey of your lotus feet. Tad bhuri bhagyam iha janma kim apiyat tavyam yad gokulepi katamangri rajo bhikshekam yad jivitam tu nikhilam bhagavan mukundas tav adyapi yad padaraja shruti mrigyam eva. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth, whatever, in this forest of Gokula, and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. Purport. This verse indicates that Lord Brahma desires to take birth even as the smallest blade of grass in Vrindavan, so that the holy residents of the Lord's abode may walk upon his head and bless him with the dust of their feet. Being realistic, Lord Brahma does not aspire to directly achieve the dust of Lord Krishna's feet. Rather, he aspires for the mercy of the Lord's devotees. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Brahma is willing to take birth even as a stone in a paved footpath in the Lord's abode. Since Brahma is the creator of the entire universe, we can just imagine the glorious position of the residents of Vrindavan. The Lord's devotees achieve their exalted position by unalloyed devotion and love. One cannot achieve such spiritual opulence by any puffed up material process of personal improvement. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, Srila Prabhupada reveals the mind of Brahma as follows. But if I am not so fortunate to take birth within the forest of Vrindavan, I beg to be allowed to take birth outside the immediate area of Vrindavan, so that when the devotees go out, they will walk over me. Even that would be a great fortune for me. I am just aspiring for a birth in which I will be smeared by the dust of the devotees' feet. Om Ajnana Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangulang Gaitikirim Yat Kipatham Mande Shri Guru Dinatar Vanchakalpataresha Kipasindhu Vecha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah. Gopir Padakamalayora Dasa 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 Anudas. I was just thinking that verse number 32, 33, it is mentioned that, fortunate are those residents of Vrindavan, let me become a source, And that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has the mood of following the gopis of Vrindavan. And that's the highest. Why? Because even Brahma is aspiring for it. It is so weird that as soon as there is lack of association of devotees, so many things happen that it's unimaginable to perceive how fortunate is association of devotees. Like, because when I was in India, and then not much, I could not go to the temple as much, traveling so much and all. But as soon as, we stopped doing our daily routine, maybe, the seva, deity worship, or coming to the temple, doing some seva in the temple, or in a constant association of Srimad Bhagvatam, it is very hard to actually be inspired to actually continue bhakti. Because we don't actually want to do it. Yes, because we are convinced somehow, by intelligence, but it's not from the heart. And that's why I saw that, yes, whatever, if it is not in your liking, if there is no attachment, it's very difficult to continue. And that's why the acharyas give Vaidhi Bhakti as very strong. Prabhupada actually gives it very strongly. That the morning program, this, that. It's because we are not that strong to actually do it on our own. Yeah. And hence, what to talk about going and becoming a blade of grass in Vrindavan? That's so far out. Everything is so far out. Because becoming an important, just even becoming the dust of Vrindavan is so elevated to, like Lord Brahma is praying that I might be outside of Vrindavan. Outside of Vrindavan. Tis. So it's very difficult to even fathom that what are we given through the Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada. Celebrating ISKCON's 60th anniversary, like Mataji was mentioning on Sunday. It is so important. This milestone is so important. Yes, as for Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara, yes, but even for us, it gives us that opportunity that since 60 years, Srila Prabhupada has made an attempt to give us this. Yeah. That where even Brahma is praying so desperately. Yes. Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned, Manasa Deyo Geo, Jo Kichu Mor, Arpilo Tuva Pade Nanda Kishore. Sampade Vipa. And in that he mentions, that if I get a birth in the next life, let me be born as a worm, Kita, as an insect in a devotee's house rather than becoming Brahma. Bahirmukha Brahma, to be not doing your devotional service, to be against you, rather to not know about you, rather I'll become an insect. Yes. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that I am a worm in the stool. The dainyata, the humility is so great. They understand what it means to be around Krishna. They understand the value. They are grateful. But as we are not grateful, that's why we have to be repeatedly be told that what has been given to us. I was listening to Haldar Maharaj's class, and he was mentioning that when somebody is at Nishtha, the most important aspect of bhakti is to be grateful. Gratitude. And all our, sannyasis and gurus, they all mention about this aspect again and again. And in that, we have to be grateful for the association of devotees. And that's why for a month and a half, if we do not have a longing to get Krishna, then it becomes a regular routine. It is not done with that same spontaneous dynamic mood as, because it's Sunday, we have to go to the temple and then, get inspired, meet other devotees. And then we see that, everybody is doing so nicely, then why should I not also do it? And that's why Srila Prabhupada made these temples just for us so that we can associate and serve Krishna and give an opportunity to understand what is beyond this material realm. Somewhere in the Shastras it is mentioned, I was listening to a class long time back, and then I don't remember the details, but it's like the question always comes up that, maybe Prabhupada said this, maybe Prabhupada said that about the moon and this landing and then evolution and so many things. But today, the science has proven that all of whatever XYZ Acharya has said, or it is given in the Shastra, it is not actually right. There are some aspects which are wrong. And I was discussing this, and then we were thinking that, okay, so what? What's the big deal? If Srila Prabhupada mentions that, we never went to the moon, it's something else. No, but we've seen today after 60 years this other. And so what? What's the big deal? No, but then if Prabhupada is said something which is not right, then that means he doesn't know. Okay, so if he didn't know about this, so what is the big problem? No, then that means everything is wrong, right? God doesn't exist. If Prabhupada is wrong, that means God doesn't exist. Okay, God doesn't exist. Okay, if evolution is right, whatever the scientists saying are right. Yes, everything is right. Yes, and God doesn't exist at all. Okay, so then what to do? The question arises, what to do? If all of this Bhagvatam and everything, okay, it's just speculation, Okay, then what should we do? No, everybody should get engaged and do what? Nothing. Why? Because ultimately, if everything doesn't exist, that means death is certain for everyone. Whatever you do in this life is useless. No, but we are doing it for the next generation. Why? It doesn't matter at all. An apocalypse comes out. Good. Why is it bad? No, everybody will die. So? Anyways, they were going to die. Oh, no, but then humanity won't survive. So? Does the rock on Neptune or Pluto or whatever galaxy we are talking about, does that galaxy think about, oh my God, the humans are going to extinguish, now let me go and help them? I had a great opportunity to meet them. Maybe in the future these scientists are going to come and explore this galaxy, and that's why I would have been so fortunate. But now they are all dead. I feel so sad about it. No. If ultimately nothing exists, it doesn't matter. Whatever they are finding out, it eventually doesn't matter. What is the big issue? Yes? No, but the question of why doesn't come in. No, don't give this post-dated checks. That is what Prabhupada used to say. Yes? What is the ultimate purpose of life? No, this is a why question we do not ask in science. So, then why are you doing science? Why are you trying to research so many things? If sense gratification is the ultimate thing, these scientists even don't know how to do sense gratification properly. Yes? The next question comes up, if nothing exists, okay, fine. If something exists, there is something over there. And these scientists are proving, so what? They don't even know how to live their life properly. They do not even understand that there is a higher happiness in serving or in practicing Vedic culture. They do not know how to even wash themselves. These days even most of us don't know. Yes, I am trying to learn. But at least it's much better for the body. Okay, if the body is the ultimate thing, Vedic culture is the best for the body. Best for sense gratification. Best for everybody's sense gratification. Are they following that? So what have they gained by doing all of this? Nothing. It's all bogus. Yes. And going up to one more step ahead. If everything is false, yes. Ujjwala Neelamani, I was just browsing through the books, in I had some points I had to go and actually you could reimburse them through the books or something like that. And there was Ujjwala Neelamani, the book translated by Bhanu Maharaj. And it was this thick. Yes, we have Srimad Bhagvatam, but Ujjwala Neelamani this thick. that thick book is not talking about philosophy. Yes, a little bit here and there. But it's talking about what you feel at what moment and how it is done when Srimati Radharani meets the devotees, what happens before meeting Krishna, what happens after meeting Krishna, during meeting Krishna. The feelings which you feel, the moods you feel are scientifically proven by the acharyas, how and what and when and why. From Shraddha to Prema, what does one feel at what moment? If it is so given nicely, yes, perfectly, scientifically, this is observed, that is observed, this is science, yes, observation. Then if all of this is given and we come up to the conclusion that because of evolution being proved and because of one statement somewhere given, this also should be useless then. But it's not. The question arises that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years back and he gave this knowledge to Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami and all the acharyas which we have today. So then, that all is false. But we see anybody who practices Bhagavatam, it gives the same result again and again, whichever sampradaya you might be. No, but it might be just an internal feeling. So, it is still valid. At least I am enjoying much more than the so-called scientists out there. Whoever that might be. Whether a Nobel Prize or not, how does it matter? No, it's a subjective. No, it's not. It's objective. Why? I can see totally that they do not even know how to clean themselves. How are they going to enjoy? They just can't enjoy. What is the use of all of this? Yes. So one has to really, like when these questions come up, how it is possible that if somebody is at this level where to question whether these things are right or wrong, imagine praying like Brahma and actually surrendering to Krishna at his lotus feet. It's a totally different game. And we are somewhere in between. Maybe we have little faith, maybe we don't. We use our intelligence to kick out all these scientists. But these devotees of the great Lord, of our great sampradaya, they couldn't care less. What's going on and what happens over here and there. Because we know this is a fact. So, we are really so fortunate to actually understand from this end to that end completely. Yes, we have the complete knowledge. And to actually, I was shocked that, Ujjwala Nilamani starts with the thing that there are 96 types of Krishna. 96 types of Krishna. 96. There's Aishwarya Vrindavan in that one Krishna, and then, there's Srimati. All these are moods, in which devotees can actually access, and express themselves. There's Dwarka Krishna, Mathura Krishna. But in Mathura you'll have Devaki Vasudev. So there's Vatsalya over there. But that's a different Krishna than what Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are going to experience in Vrindavan. Yes? Jai Shri Radha Madhava. And this analysis, these conclusions, these observations, 96 types. And apart from Krishna, there are so many avatars, unlimited avatars. Varadev, Narsimhadev, Kurma avatar, Matsya avatar. There are so many, and we have given something so specific. Out of that 96, yes, everything you can get in ISKCON. You can get any of these 96 and the unlimited avatars. But Srila Prabhupada comes to give us this Gopir Padakamala Yor Dasa 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 Anudas. That's very specific. So when we say that, all these things are here and there, and these scientists come up and say stuff, how does it matter? Yes, they cannot even approach that happiness which is experienced by just seeing the deity of the Lord. Forget about seeing the Lord himself. The deity is the Lord. But actual having realization, and in between all of that, they cannot even approach Krishna. That's what Bhagvatam says. Chatushloki Bhagvatam. Any amount of knowledge, any amount of, understanding and reading and, mugging up information from Shastras or the material world, you cannot approach Krishna. That's not possible. And that is what Brahmadev is trying to say over here. Aho bhagyam, aho bhagyam. Yes. Where is that slok? Because that's a very famous slok. Aho bhagyam, nanda gopa vrajokasham. Yes. Aho bhagyam. We cannot imagine that how the residents of Vrindavan are getting that bliss. It is said that there is 1 unit of happiness you get when you are a king of this world. Unrivaled king. Unrivaled. Not a king of Maharashtra or Jaipur. Unrivaled king of the whole planet. That is 1 unit of happiness. If we take that level of unit of happiness, that's 1 unit. Yes. And then if you multiply that by 10 or 100, something like that. Now we can't even imagine what it feels to be the king of the whole world. And these scientists will come up with stuff and they will say that, oh no, this and that, and then the nations are fighting. What kind of happiness is here? Yes, but we are still infatuated. That's another issue. But that's 1 unit. Then you get 10 units of happiness when you are in Swarga, when you are Indra. Then it is 100 units when you are Lord Brahma. Something like that. And it goes, and Brahman realization is more than 1,000 or 10,000 units. Just to understand that you are Brahman, self-realize that you are the soul. And you have nothing to do with this material world. That gives so much happiness. And that's why these Mayavadis are behind it. But 1 drop Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, yes? 1 drop from that Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, that is unlimited to even Brahman realization. It cannot be imagined. And from that realm, of the topmost realm of Golok Vrindavan, our acharyas come down. Yes, we can't imagine what they are feeling inside. What is the level of happiness? And they are come to give us that level of happiness. How can one practice all of this, stages of bhakti, who have some problem with these scientists bringing up some points out there? How does it matter? You still have to brush your teeth. You still have to you have to go over your job, Still there is no happiness. The only happiness is to be gotten from bhakti. And to be convinced, that's why we read, we preach, we talk about Krishna. We have Srimad Bhagvatam classes just for that, so that we are convinced that the happiness is in this. Aho bhagyam, yes. So that's why we pray to Radha Madhav Hari and to the Acharyas that we might get something so that we can actually continue, whether we are here or there or anywhere, whether we are alone or whether we are in association of devotees. We should always continue with the conviction that this is the only path. Yes, serving Krishna is the ultimate goal of life, and there is nothing beyond that. Yes, and that's why Brahma is saying the same thing. It's inconceivable. That's why Rampad Maharaj says that you might actually see and hear about these pastimes, but to actually understand them and to experience those moods is inconceivable. Inconceivable. Yes? To understand, to just read and to know what Srimati and all the Manjaris do is something external. But to actually develop and actually understand, to feel Krishna. Yes? To feel what they are going through when these pastimes are going on, it is something totally different. Yes, one might be actually giving so many nice classes or doing such nice kirtans. But the thing is that the material world has facility to actually give nice orators, to have nice, people with nice voices and musicians and everything. But to actually feel and to actually have the mood of surrender, that I am a servant of Krishna, and to be in that mood when you're doing that service is a totally different game. And that's why externally we can enact all these pastimes. We can talk about these pastimes. We can talk about what Radha and Krishna do in the groves of Vraja. But it doesn't develop anything in the heart because there is no mood. Yes, there's no mood. And that's why to develop that mood, we follow the process what Srila Prabhupada has given us. Because even though we might follow something which the Babas gave outside, you do this and that, and you try to do it, but it is all going to be artificial. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Yes. That's why we are very grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he established this international society for us to actually even know these things exist and we can aspire for the right things in our life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Krishna.